Okay, everyone, welcome back to the channel. And oh my gosh, I am so happy you are here today because I need to tell you something before we even get started. Last night, I could not sleep. Like, genuinely could not sleep. I was lying there, staring at the ceiling, and my mind just would not quiet down. And at some point, I gave up trying to force it. And I just got up, wrapped myself in a sat at my little reading space, and started pulling cards. No plan, no script, nothing, just me and the deck and whatever spirit wanted to say. And what started coming through was so specific and so layered that I ended up sitting there for almost 2 hours just channeling and taking notes and laughing to myself. Because some of this is genuinely so accurate, it is almost like spirit was just okay, we are going all the way in tonight. And so I decided right then that I was making this reading first thing in the morning, and here we are. So if you clicked on this today, if the title pulled you in, if something in you said this one is mine, you are right. It is. Let us get into it. And before we go any further, please click the link below this video and come subscribe to my channel. Turn on your notifications because I am constantly putting out readings and I genuinely want you there for all of it. The link is right below. 2 seconds. It means everything to me. Okay, now let us go. The very first thing that came through when I started tuning in for this collective, and this landed so clearly it almost knocked me over, is this image of someone looking at you and just being completely not in a scary way, in the way that happens when you encounter something you were not prepared for and it takes you a minute to recalibrate. This person had an idea of who you were before they actually got close enough to really see you. And the idea they had and the reality of who you are so far apart that it genuinely surprised them. Not disappointed them, in the best, most destabilizing, most fascinating way possible. Because here is the thing about you. You are cute. Like genuinely, naturally, effortlessly cute in a way that makes people make assumptions. Your energy, your vibe, maybe the way you look or carry yourself there is something about you that reads as approachable and sweet and a little soft around the edge. And people see that and they think they have you figured out. They think, okay, I know what this is. I know how to move with this person. I know what to expect. And then you open your mouth, or you handle a situation, or someone tries you, and the real you shows up, and they are standing there like, wait, who is this? Because the person in front of them now is not the person they thought they were dealing with 5 minutes ago. And that gap between expectation and reality is where you absolutely live. That is your zone. That is where you are most yourself and most powerful simultaneously. You have been surprising people with this your entire life, and you will keep doing it. It is one of your greatest gifts, whether you fully recognize it as one yet or not. You are lovingly tenacious. I want to sit on that phrase for a second because I think it is the most accurate way to describe what makes you magnetic. You are not cold. You are not calculating. There is genuine warmth in you, real, deep, heartfelt warmth that makes people feel cared for and safe and seen when you let. But underneath that warmth is this absolute iron will, this refusal to back down from what you believe in, this quiet, immovable determination that once you decide something, once you set your mind to something or someone, nothing is moving you off of it. You are soft and stubborn at the same time, gentle and relentless. And most people have never encountered that combination before because most people think those things cancel each other out. They do not. In you, they amplify each other. And it absolutely wrecks people in the best possible way. Drop a comment below right now, type tenacious, if this already feels like you. Because I feel like this collective is going to recognize themselves in this energy immediately, and I want to see you in the comments. Let me know this is landing. Now let me get into this person specifically. Because the cards are telling me so much about who they are and how they are experiencing you right now. This is someone who came into your awareness, or you came into theirs, with a very different energy than where they are now. In the beginning, they were relaxed about it. Easy, They are naturally charming, naturally confident. The type of person who moves through the world with this effortless self-assurance that comes from a lifetime of being good at reading people and situations. They do not usually get caught off guard. They do not usually find themselves in the position of not knowing what to say or how to act. That is not who they are. They are the person other people get nervous around, not the other way around. And then they got closer to you. And something shifted. The more they observed you, the more they picked up on how your mind actually works, the way you handle things, the standards you hold yourself and others to, the way you love fiercely and cut cleanly when you need to. The more they started feeling something that made them recalibrate everything. Because you are not what you look like from the outside. What looks like softness is actually a deeply considered choice about who deserves access to the real you. What looks like easygoing warmth is actually someone who has incredibly high standards for the people they let close. And what looks like calm on the surface is someone who has made peace with knowing exactly what they will and will not accept in their life. This person did not expect any of that. And now they cannot stop thinking about it. They are the type of person who likes to understand things. They like to have people figured out. It gives them a sense of control and comfort to know who they are dealing with. And you have completely dismantled that for them. Every time they think they have a handle on who you are, there is another layer. Every time they think they know how you will respond to something, you surprise them. And instead of that being frustrating, it is the most captivating thing that has ever happened to them. They are hooked on not fully understanding you. They are addicted to the process of trying. And that addiction is only getting stronger the longer this goes on, because there is genuinely so much to discover. And they know it. Now, here is something that came through really clearly, and I want to address it because it is so specific to this collective. You have this thing where you love deeply and you love completely, but you are also completely unbothered by the idea of walking away if something is not right. And that combination, that ability to be fully in and fully out, depending on what the situation calls for, is something most people cannot access. Most people are either all in and afraid to leave, or emotionally unavailable because they are afraid to get close. You are neither. You know how to love without losing yourself. You know how to care without compromising your standards. And that specific quality is something this person has never seen up close before, and it is genuinely changing how they understand what love and connection can look like. Like they are rethinking everything they thought they knew about what a real relationship feels like just from being in your orbit. They keep watching you, like genuinely, consistently, attentively watching. Not in a weird way, in the way that someone watches something that keeps revealing new things, no matter how long they look. They notice how you handle difficult moments. They notice how you speak about the people you love. They notice the small things you do that most people would miss, because most people are not paying that level of attention. But this person is paying that level of attention, because to them, you are worth every bit of it. And every new thing they notice just deepens the feeling that they have found something genuinely rare in a world full of ordinary things. And when they think about you, which is frequently, more frequently than they would probably admit out loud, there is this smile that happens. This involuntary, unguarded, genuine smile that comes before they can think to compose themselves. Because the thought of you makes them happy in a way that catches them off guard every single time. They were not planning on this. They are not used to this. And they are not fighting it anymore, because fighting it simply is not working, and they have accepted that reality about themselves. Something else I need to say here, because it keeps pressing through, and spirit is not letting me skip it. This person talks about you. Not to everyone, they are private by nature, and they do not hand out information about their inner world carelessly. But to their most trusted person, the one or two people who actually know them below the surface, your name has come up more than once. What they say is not casual. It is not, oh yeah, there is someone interesting. It is more like, I have never felt this way about someone before, and I do not fully know what to do with it. That is the level of confession happening in private for this person. And for someone who keeps their emotional world as locked down as they do, that is enormous. That is not something they do lightly. And yet here they are doing it because you have made it impossible for them to keep this completely to themselves anymore. Comment below and tell me, do you have someone in your life who watches you like this? Someone who pays attention in ways you did not even realize until recently? Drop it in the comments, because I feel like a lot of you are going to recognize this energy immediately, and I want to see you down there. Let me talk about who this person is on a deeper level, because Spirit gave me a very clear picture, and I want to give you all the details. This is someone who is established, not in a flashy, look at everything I have kind of way, more in a quiet, built something real, knows their own worth kind of way. They have done the work, they have put in the years, they have made sacrifices and decisions and navigated enough difficulty to have a very clear sense of who they are and what they bring to the table. They are confident, but not arrogant, self-assured, but not dismissive. They know their value without needing to announce it constantly, and that quiet confidence is one of the most compelling things about them. They are also someone who has been let down before. Not dramatically, just in that gradual, accumulating kind of way, where you invest in people and situations, and they do not match your energy, and over time, you start to wonder if what you are looking for actually exists. They have had experiences where they showed up fully and the other person was not able to meet that, where they gave their loyalty and it was not reciprocated at the same level. And those experiences made them careful, selective, unwilling to hand themselves over to just anyone ever again. They built walls, not because they are cold or closed off at their core, but because they are protective of the parts of themselves that they have learned not everyone knows how to handle properly. And here is what I want you to understand about those walls: they were not built out of fear. They were built out of self-respect. There is a big difference. Someone who builds walls out of fear is hoping no one ever really finds the door. Someone who builds walls out of self-respect is just making sure that the person who gets through has actually earned it. This person falls firmly in that second category. They were not going to keep letting people in who had not earned it. They chose to wait, chose to be alone rather than settle for something that did not feel completely right. And that choice cost them something, because loneliness has a weight to it, even when it is the right decision. But they made it anyway, because their standards would not let them do otherwise. And then they encountered you. And something in them said, this is different. This one is real. This one is worth opening back up for completely. And they are not someone who gets that feeling easily or often. The fact that they are feeling it now about you specifically is significant. More significant than you probably realize. Drop it in the comments if this person is already coming to mind for you. You do not have to say who. Just let me see you reacting, because I love knowing when something in this reading hits home for someone very specifically. Something else coming through very strongly, and I want to name it directly, because it is so present in this reading. This person is territorial about you. And I know that word can sometimes carry a negative connotation, but hear me out. Because in this context, it is coming from a place of genuine depth of feeling. They get quietly bothered when other people give you attention. When they see someone trying to get close to you or insert themselves into your world, something activates in them that they cannot fully shut down. Not because they are controlling, because they have already decided on you in their heart before anything official has even been discussed. Watching other people try to access something they already consider theirs stirs up feelings they are not fully in control of, and probably are not entirely comfortable with. Because again, this is not typical for them. They also study you in ways you would find both endearing and slightly wild if you knew the full extent of it. They notice your patterns. They pay attention to what you respond to and what you do not. They are building a very detailed picture of you in their mind, your preferences, your triggers, what makes you light up, what makes you go quiet and pull inward, because understanding you fully feels like the most important project they have ever taken on. And they approach it the same way they approach everything else that genuinely matters to them: thoroughly, attentively, and without cutting corners. Because you matter to them. More than they are currently letting on to anyone, including themselves. I also need to say something about your spiritual protection. Because it keeps coming through, and Spirit is insistent about this particular point. You are not walking through this life exposed or unguarded. There are forces, whether you call them angels, ancestors, guides, or simply the universe working deliberately on your behalf that are actively operating around you. There have been people who tried to do you harm, situations that could have gone sideways in genuinely serious ways, moments where you were more vulnerable than you even fully realized at the time, and something intervened every single time. Something kept you. Something made sure that the worst case scenario stayed a scenario and did not become your actual lived reality. You have been held throughout all of it without always knowing it. And that holding is intensifying right now because what is incoming for you is significant. And everything around you is aligning and preparing accordingly. Now, your tenacity specifically is what is doing this person in, and I want to give this the full space it deserves. Not just your warmth, not just your cuteness, not just your intelligence, though all of those things are absolutely present and working in your favor. It is the tenacity. The fact that you do not quit. The fact that when you are going after something, a goal, a dream, a person, something you believe in with your whole heart, you hold on with a grip that nothing can shake loose. You have been knocked down in your life. You have had seasons that were genuinely hard and discouraging and heavy. Seasons where most people would have decided to stop trying so hard and just accepted a lesser version of what they wanted. You did not. Every single time, you got back up. Not because it was easy or because you felt strong in those moments, because you simply do not know how to stay down. That is not something you learned or developed. That is something you are made from at the most fundamental level. And this person can feel it radiating off of you every time they are in your presence. And it moves them in a way they are not fully able to articulate yet, because the feeling is bigger than the words they currently have for it. They see someone who is not fragile, and this matters to them more than they would probably say out loud to anyone. Because they want a partner, not a project. They want someone who has their own fire, their own direction, their own identity that exists completely independently of any relationship they might be in. They want someone who chooses to be with them from a place of genuine desire, rather than someone who needs them to function or feel whole. And in you, they see all of that clearly and completely and without question. And it is genuinely the most attractive thing they have ever witnessed in another person. I also want to talk about the cutthroat piece, because it came up so specifically in this reading, and it is one of the things that truly sets this collective apart. You have this quality where you are extraordinarily loving right up until the moment something crosses a line. And then something shifts in you, not violently, not dramatically, not in a way that loses composure, just with this absolute precision and this quiet certainty, and you become completely uncompromising. You do not yell, you do not beg, you do not chase. You simply close the door. Cleanly, quietly, permanently, if necessary. And you are able to do that because you know your own worth well enough that you never negotiate it for someone who is not willing to honor it. This person witnessed something like this about you, maybe not directed at them. Maybe they saw you handle a situation or navigate a difficult person, and they stood there watching you and thought, I have never seen anyone handle themselves like that, with that level of composure and self-possession and dignity. And it changed how they see you permanently and completely. There was a before that moment and an after. And in the after, everything is different. Type cutthroat with love in the comments if this is your energy. That specific combination of loving fiercely and protecting yourself unapologetically without any apology whatsoever. I want to see you down there in the comments section right now. Now let me talk about what is building between you and this person, because Spirit was very specific about this, and it is genuinely something worth being excited about. The conversations that are coming, or already starting for some of you, are going to be unlike anything you have experienced in a relationship before. Because this person is not interested in surface level interaction with you. They do not want to small talk you. They are not going to ask you basic questions and settle for basic answers. They want the real version of you. The thoughts you do not usually say out loud. The opinions you hold that might be controversial or complicated. The things you have been through that shaped how you see the world and people and yourself. They want the whole unedited version. And they are patient enough and genuinely curious enough to wait for you to decide when you are ready to give it to them. Because they understand instinctively that the best things about you are not handed out quickly or carelessly. They are also going to want to spoil you. Not in a transactional or surface level kind of way, in a this person has given so much and deserves to have everything soft and good kind of way. They see how hard you work. They see the weight you carry on a daily basis. They see the standards you hold yourself to and the effort you consistently pour into the things and people that matter to you. And they want to be the person who makes sure all of that effort is met with something generous and warm and taken care of on the other side. They want you to be able to fully exhale. They want to be the reason you exhale. That energy of someone genuinely wanting to make your life easier and more beautiful simply because you deserve it, that is completely real and that is incoming. And I want to spend a moment on something Spirit showed me about your past because it is directly connected to why this particular incoming energy is so significant for you right now. You have been through relational experiences that tried to convince you that the way you love is too much, that your standards are unrealistic or unfair, that the combination of warmth and firmness you naturally bring to relationships is somehow a problem to be managed or accommodated rather than a gift to be received and celebrated properly. And for a while, maybe for longer than you would like to admit, some part of you absorbed some of that messaging. Maybe you question yourself. Maybe you tried to fit yourself into spaces that were genuinely never built to hold all of you properly. And then at some point, you stopped. You stopped editing yourself for people who were not capable of appreciating the full version of you anyway. And that decision changed the frequency you move at. It changed who finds their way into your orbit. This person is a direct result of that shift. They found their way to you because you stopped making yourself smaller and started taking up the space you were always meant to occupy. This is also connected to your glow up, and I am not talking about anything superficial here. I am talking about this deep, substantive, from the inside out transformation that has been quietly happening for you over the past period of time. People around you have noticed it even if they have not said it directly or found the right words for it. There is a subtleness to how you carry yourself now that was not there before in the same way. A groundedness. This is who I am, and I am not going to apologize for any part of it energy that radiates off of you in ways you might not even be fully conscious of in your day-to-day life. And this person noticed it early, before most people around you fully clocked what was shifting in you. They noticed, and it pulled them toward you like nothing else could have, because that kind of settled, grounded, completely unbothered self-possession is honestly the rarest and most magnetic thing in the world when you encounter it in another person. Type "this is it" in the comments if you feel like this reading is speaking directly to your situation right now in this specific season of your life. I want to acknowledge every single person who came to this video today carrying a question in their heart about whether something real is actually on its way to them. It is. Spirit is confirming it today. Drop it in the comments and let me see you. Final messages from Spirit, and then I am going to let you go. First, they never saw you coming. And that is exactly the point and exactly the gift. You are not who people think you are when they first encounter you. You are not what the surface suggests. And the moment someone sees the full picture of who you are, they do not want to look away. This person has reached that moment fully, and they are not looking away. Second, your love is the rarest kind, warm and fierce simultaneously. The kind that says, I will be completely in your corner, and I will also never let you treat me poorly because I know what I deserve. That combination does not come around often, and this person knows with everything in them that they are looking at something that does not have a duplicate anywhere else in their world. Third, you are somebody's answered prayer. This is coming directly from spirit, and I want you to really receive this fully and not let yourself brush past it too quickly. Someone has been holding out for someone exactly like you, not a version of you, not someone similar to you. You specifically, the tenacity, the cuteness, the warmth, the standards, the whole complicated, beautiful, complete package of who you are. You are what someone refused to stop hoping for, even when hoping felt foolish. Fourth, get ready. Communication is incoming. The watching from a distance phase is ending. The preparing and observing and building up towards something phase is winding all the way down. They are getting ready to step forward. And when they do it, is going to feel like something that was always supposed to happen is finally actually happening. Not overwhelming, not dramatic, just completely right. Like the most natural thing in the world, clicking into place. And the final message you came back from everything. Every hard thing. Every disappointing season. Every moment where you had a completely good reason to close off and become someone smaller and less open to the possibility of real love. You did not. You kept the warmth. You kept the fire. You kept the standards. You kept showing up as fully, completely, unapologetically yourself through all of it. And that is the precise reason what is coming is as extraordinary as it is. Because you refuse to let hard things make you into someone less than who you actually are. You are entering something real. Something that matches you on every level that matters. Something that sees all of you, the cute and the cutthroat, and the tender and the tenacious, and every complicated, beautiful layer in between, and chooses you completely because of all of it. Not in spite of any part, because of every single part of it. Okay, before I go, please like this video if this reading resonated with you today. It genuinely helps so many more people find these messages, and I want this to reach everyone it was meant for. Drop a comment below and tell me what landed the hardest. Was it the tenacious energy, the cutthroat with love piece, the description of this person, the territorial and the spiritual protection, the glow up section, the final messages from spirit? Tell me everything, because I read every single comment, and connecting with you all down there is honestly one of the best parts of doing this job. I genuinely love hearing from you guys and knowing what landed specifically. And if someone came to mind during this reading, please share this video with them. You might be sending someone exactly what they needed to receive today. Click the link below, come over to my channel, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and let us keep going together. I will see you in the very next reading. Take care of yourselves every single day. You are so much more than people initially give you credit for. And the right ones, the ones that actually matter, always figure that out.